Welcome back to Phoenix, Arizona for the final day of action for the Sidewinders Showdown, inaugural regular season play for the Western Ultimate League. We've got the San Francisco Falcons visiting against the hosting Arizona Sidewinders. We'll take you inside the booth to say hello. My name is Michael Simeone here with Eric Bay. Eric, Sidewinders dropping a tough one last night to a dominant Seattle Tempest. What will they be looking to do today?
Well, good morning, Michael, and yes, you are correct. That loss to the Seattle Tempest yesterday was tough for the Arizona Sidewinders, but I can tell you what they will be doing, and that will be utilizing Cody Lippincott downfield some more. We do have some highlights. She played tremendous ultimate so far.
Yeah, Lippincott doing a terrific job attacking the space downfield, being aggressive into the deep space, but then also having a great sensibility for that back shoulder, high up window, skying into space to make big plays here, beating the defense with her legs and her hops.
Absolutely. And another thing right now, you can see her down there warming up the team, bringing the energy, giving high fives to teammates, making sure that they're mentally and energy prepped for this game.
When Lippincott makes plays, this team responds every time.
Absolutely.
And they'll have their hands full today as they match up against the San Francisco Falcons. Standout from them yesterday in their matchup against the Wild was Han Chen, number 25 for them. Chen looked pretty dominant downfield. Eric, what will the Sidewinders be looking to do against her?
Well, you're right there, Michael. Han Chen, she had 1 goal and 2 assists against the Utah Wild. She was all over the field. The stats, 1 goal, 2 assists is good, but she was much more dominant on the field than that, being almost everywhere at all times.
Yeah, we're going to see how this all develops on the other side of the break. We've got the opening poll coming right up.
The Western Ultimate League is sponsored by Breakmark Apparel. They make our players and our fans look great on or off the Ultimate Field. Shop the full line of Western Ultimate League team gear at breakmark.com. The Arizona Sidewinders would like to recognize our sponsors and partners: Bella Vista Vision Eye Center, the Phoenix Herpetological Sanctuary, Garn Mason Orthodontics, Raptor Canyon Cafe, and the Mount Lemon Cookie Cabin Pizzeria. Shop our new apparel collection at arizonasidewinders.com/shop to support women's sports and the Arizona Sidewinders. Pre-sale goes through March 18th and orders ship on March 28th. Get your support women's sports gear today at arizonasidewinders.com/shop.
Welcome to the final game of the Sidewinders Showdown this weekend. We've got the Falcons squaring off against the Sidewinders. Teams with a coin flip to decide who will possess first. Eric, I've got to think that the San Francisco Falcons want to come out here with more energy than they finished their game yesterday.
Michael, you're right, and I think that they will. One of the things that the San Francisco Falcons mentioned is that they got a full night's sleep last night, where yesterday when they played against the Utah Wild, most of them woke up at 3:30 in the morning to get a flight down here to Arizona for that game.
We'll go down to the coin flip now.
San Francisco wins the coin toss. As such, you get to choose possession or position. Starting on defense, all right. So San Francisco's elected to pull on defense. Now, Sidewinders, you get your choice of scoreboard, end, or other.
Michael, Sidewinders discussing which end zone they'd like to defend first here. Not too
You're going to start on the
much
scoreboard side, so you'll receive on the scoreboard side. I will show the audience the selection.
Yeah, our familiar crosswind that we've been dealing with all weekend is present but not particularly strong right now. I'm just struck by how much defensive pressure the Falcons were able to apply at the beginning of their game yesterday. Be interesting to see if they can bring that same intensity at the beginning of the game for the Sidewinders. The Sidewinders, as we saw yesterday, probably need to work on their game plan for what happens when they start feeling that defensive pressure. Eric, I've also got to be thinking that the Sidewinders will be looking to try that zone look that was so successful against the Wild and occasionally successful against Seattle. It'll be interesting to see how the Falcons respond to some of those softer coverages into the passing lanes. They were able to get the Wild to generate some turnovers in those situations. Seattle just too good in the handler set to really feel the pressure from that kind of defense. Be interesting to see if San Francisco responds well to that kind of zone coverage.
You're right, and I think that they will. Clogging the lanes has been a huge asset for the Arizona Sidewinders. It worked very well against the Utah Wild, and you have to know that San Francisco has seen that and has acknowledged that coming into this game.
Another thing to highlight is this matchup we began the game with. We're going to have our eyes on it all game. Han Chen, going to be a matchup problem for the Sidewinders downfield potentially. We'll take you to the starting lineup for the Arizona Sidewinders now. This is their offensive line. A lot of speed on this line, Eric.
A lot of speed and a lot of experience. The photo shoot for the Arizona Sidewinders is fantastic too, as you can see. The entire starting lineup holding different snakes that were provided by, I believe, a local zoo.
Yeah, the team intent on making sure that this was an educational experience for fans as well about snakes. In a moment, we'll meet the offensive line for the San Francisco Falcons. Here's the defensive line for the Falcons as they'll be pulling today. A lot of weapons for transition offense for the Falcons. They were very successful on in-cut and then away pass to the end zone yesterday and trying to generate some offense on a turn. We'll see if they return to that today. Chen in particular, very good at coming underneath and then launching it deep, Eric. And we're off. San Francisco pulling to the Arizona Sidewinders. Aragon to pick up. She's got Anderson. Nelson. LP to Eifert. Eifert launching to Doyle, who's wide open, and she's got it! Sidewinders begin with a clean hold.
I love that look right away from the Arizona Sidewinders. They come down immediately with a side stack to the home side of the field here, and it was executed seamlessly.
LP to Eifert. Eifert knows what's coming. Doyle's got the closing speed to finish the job.
Absolutely, and Lindsay Doyle, part of her track and field team, once she gets a lead on a defender, there's not a lot of individuals in this league that are going to be able to catch up to her.
We're going to see the Sidewinders now on their first defensive point of the game. Nelson to pull. We'll see what kind of defensive look the Sidewinders decide to take on. Perhaps try to surprise them out the gate. Stretching pull here, well past the 30-yard line. And it's Chen in the backfield now transitioning. Good upline attack here. Nice move by Anderson. Bozini now back to the middle of the field, and it's Chen looking deep. It's intercepted. Done there and too quick. Back to Nelson. Nelson looking downfield. She's got nothing underneath. She's going to try something deep. It's Eifert against two defenders. Sun's in her eyes, and she's going to... What an amazing play by Chen coming from behind in the last minute, able to tap it out of Eifert's hands. Chen to pick up. Slicing inside space, it looks like it hit the turf. Sidewinders approaching the red zone here. Nelson, high break. She's got Daniels. And she's got Murphy. That looks like Alex Daniels to Liz Murphy. Sidewinders got to be happy with that transition.
Absolutely, Michael. Great break point by the Arizona Sidewinders and great defense from both sides of the field. Down here, Melissa Dunn with that run-through snag. She is so quick and she is so good at getting herself in that sort of position. And then on the opposite side of the field, Han Chen, not necessarily in the best position to get that D, but able to pull it away from Helen Eifert anyway.
Yeah, Eifert trying to find the disc in the sun. I think people can't see that on the live stream, but the sun is beating down from one side of the field, making it very difficult to see. Chen taking advantage of the situation, using her athleticism to make that defensive stop and making it safely, too. Sidewinders gonna try again on defense. Let's see what look they bring. Pole floating quite some time now. Falcons back on the attack. And that's going to be a long shot to Chen. She's wide open. Can she bring it in? She's got it. Done too far behind this time. Falcons scanning the end zone now. Roberts back across the field to Chen. Chen's got somebody open on the break side, but takes it steady, takes it slow, and she's got a break now, and she's got the goal. Audrey Sheehy. Great use of the deep side space. Chen steps around and is able to get that break side shot. Arizona 2, San Francisco 1. Eric, it looks like the Sidewinders weren't expecting a deep shot right away. Let's take a look at this play on the score. Just clinical on the end zone line for San Francisco.
Michael, one of the keys to the games that was discussed beforehand for San Francisco was to take those deep shots. And that is the way that they are going to be successful against these Arizona Sidewinders. They've recognized that, and they implemented that very well right there.
Yeah, Seattle last night doing a good job of finding those deep spaces. San Francisco to pull. Sidewinders on offense. Powell to LP. LP back to Powell. Sidewinders trying to make something happen on that inside space. It's a turnover. McGee to pick up for the Falcons. Falcons carefully working that inside space. They've got somebody deep, but we're gonna go deep again. Looks like this one's gonna be run down by LP. Little miscommunication there, Eric. LP to Dietrich. Dietrich, such a good cutter underneath. Skying high. Number 16 with the defensive stop, Eliza Chang. Chang with the disc again. Trying to find her teammate who falls on the turf. Montana Roberts now with the disc. Roberts again with the layout grab. She's got it. San Francisco evens the score. A terrific diving catch by number 21, Montana Roberts.
And excellent patience there from number 16, Eliza Chang. It looked like she was going to put that up to her cutter that lost her footing there in the end zone for a moment. She was able to holster, reset, and then the San Francisco Falcons were able to capitalize.
Yeah, that's Claudia Vasquez with the assist, receiving the hockey assist from Eliza Chang. Terrific grab by Roberts there. We've seen that a lot this weekend of teams using that narrow space by the sideline effectively. More often than not, surprisingly. San Francisco's on defense. See how the Sidewinders respond. These pulls have some distance for the Falcons that they didn't have yesterday, allowing their defense to set up. Eifert working the middle of the field. She's got Daniels. Daniels to Petty. Maxfield now to Nelson. Nelson flipping it to Thomas. Oh, Thomas to Dunn. Dunn sees somebody deep. There it is. Megan Maxfield gets the free release downfield using her speed. Dunn saw it developing and delivered.
Crisp and clean ultimate there. The Arizona Sidewinders coming down in a vertical stack on that one, Michael, which is great, different than the side stack we saw in the first couple of plays, keeping the San Francisco defense on their toes with these different looks.
There's that shot from Dunn to Maxfield, who's so good at accelerating deep. catching that defender by surprise. What might feel like a pretty reasonable margin on that defensive coverage suddenly becomes unacceptable because of her speed. Sidewinders conferring with their coach. Defensive line to take the field. We got number 17, Caitlin Doust, on the field, who was our color commentator last night. Sidewinders pull goes out of bounds. Picking up here, number 30, Katie Swinnerton, San Francisco Falcons. Flips it to the break side space. Harris trying to cross it the field. It's going to bend outside of bounds. Shayla Harris saw an open cone and saw a curling cut, Eric, but couldn't execute the throw there in these conditions.
You're right, that's a very difficult throw. If it would have tailed the other way, I think that receiver may have been able to pull it in, but it just decided to tail out of bounds.
It looked like she was trying to find number 27, Connie Chan. This swing pass is going to get grabbed by Eifert. Eifert launching it deep. She's got Liz Murphy. Liz Murphy looking for Doust. Murphy sees streaking upfield, but defended. Stall will be called. It's going to be a turnover either way. Patricia Anderson breaking up that play. Great coverage by San Francisco in transition. Liz Murphy, great catch there, but transitioning into defense was San Francisco doing a great job. Helm on the mark, swung to Chen. What a grab! San Francisco keeps it alive, crossing the field again. Flipping to open space now. Maybe the pace will calm. Chen underneath again. Chen sending it deep, and it'll go out of bounds. She was looking for Connie Chan. Looks like there's a call on the throw. There might have been some contact, Eric.
Yeah, it appears that it's going back to the thrower on this one. Nope, it is retracted, Michael.
Foul's retracted. An interesting matchup here, Eifert on Chen. Eifert's so athletic, a good matchup for Chen. We'll see how she's able to slow her matchup down, see if the Sidewinders can get an advantage. Helm back to Eifert. Eifert downfield, sending it deep. Looking for Daniels, who's trying to grab it out of bounds. She drags it, but she might be too far away from the sideline for that to be in. Great grab by Daniels. Doused on the mark, trying to protect against that swing. Sidewinders are trying to really keep the Falcons from swinging the disc. Defense so good they had to take a timeout. Falcons want another look. So no timeout called apparently.
I believe there was a little discrepancy on where the disc should have been checked in on that one.
Good pressure by the Sidewinders. Swing pass errant to Harris. Helm picking up for the Sidewinders, looking for Douse. Now swinging it back across the field to Kaiser, who now sends it back to 13, Liz Murphy. Back to Kaiser. Sidewinders coaching staff wants to really make the most out of this opportunity. Timeout, Sidewinders. Eric, if you're the Sidewinders, what are you looking to make happen in the end zone here off this stoppage?
I think this is a good opportunity to get their end zone play set up and to execute it the way that they have been practicing it. A lot of times in these fast break points, you look for the open player, the streaking player, try to hit that throw right away.
Yeah, let's take a look at these Sidewinders jerseys and take you through the Arizona Sidewinders team store. We've got everything available from jerseys to hats to rattles. You want to support Women's Ultimate and you can't buy a ticket to be here today, buy some merchandise.
Yeah, absolutely. And those dark jerseys from the Arizona Sidewinders, they look fantastic.
It'd be interesting to see if the Sidewinders go with an isolation play, what matchup they're going to choose to pick on here. Try to gain some advantage in the red zone. Meanwhile, San Francisco, this is the second time they've played really great defense in the red zone. Off an away pass, Sidewinders look to be gaining momentum, and then that San Francisco defense sets. Leaves the Sidewinders scratching their heads for how to get a result. Steiner picking up.
I wouldn't be surprised to see a quick fish attempt up the sideline here to Jade McLaughlin.
McLaughlin on Chen. Looks like Powell slips, not available. Stall count must be getting high. Steiner's gonna try something on the far side as the stall count gets high. It's brought in. It's
out of bounds.
But it's out of bounds. San Francisco's defense on the handler set in the red zone just so good. McGee to pick up. McGee scanning high to that inside space, and it's grabbed, brought down. San Francisco to swing again. Harris defended well. Sidewinders forcing that skinny angle throw. Chen can't make that miracle happen. McLaughlin to LP, swinging to Steiner. The throw is low. It'll be a turnover. Chen scanning downfield. Big inside break. Now the disc is centered. Sidewinders a little out of position. This is dangerous for them. Chen possessing the disc. Sidewinders seem to recover for now. Stop the gain. McGee in the middle of the field and in control. Gonna try for the end zone, but LP is able to cut it off. Looking for Montana Roberts there, but LP read the play. Doyle now in transition. She's got McLaughlin deep. Looks like McLaughlin's gonna bring it under. LP across the field to Steiner. Back in the middle now for LP. LP to Lippincott. Lippincott's able to find Reich. Doyle looking for a quick dump. LP is gonna send it. McLaughlin diving catch. McLaughlin's gonna send it to Reich. Reich with a hammer to Doyle. It's caught. Arizona didn't quite get the red zone offense they wanted on the timeout, but they walk away with a point, Eric.
And Michael, points like that are so important to win. There was definitely a handful of turnovers. Every team had multiple attempts at the end zone, but the Arizona Sidewinders finally put the mark up on the scoreboard as a huge mental advantage.
Yeah, Reich is a downfield player most of the time, but has some really good throws. There's Doyle trying to make that catch happen. And then the Sidewinders able to defend it well in transition, and that throw from Reich.
And I think something that's very important for our viewers at home to understand, when Carly Steiner took that across the end zone look to Lindsay Doyle, the one that was just a little bit outside, that was her last option, last resort, because it's only a 7-second stall count here in the Western Ultimate League. And at this level, that 7 seconds is more of a 5 or 6 second type stall.
Yeah, a tight situation there. Doyle almost brought it in. For those watching on the live stream, we're playing on a football field, but the WUL regulation field is narrower than a football field. So we're going to pay attention to those neon pylons and cones rather than the paint on the turf football field. Terrific effort by Doyle. Sidewinders able to come away from that one with a point. I'm just struck by how good the defense on the handler set has been by San Francisco, and really clogging up some of that downfield action as well. Another first quarter of good defense from San Francisco.
Yes, and as I just had mentioned the mental advantage that comes with winning those marathon points, San Francisco did elect to take a timeout after the Arizona Sidewinders scored that one.
Nelson pulling. Sidewinders back on defense. Sidewinders clogging the lanes. Sidewinders are back to this softer coverage, trying to stop those easy throws underneath. Going to force San Francisco to go around, and it's a quick block, done too quick. Just the throw they were looking for. Nelson picking up inside space to Dunn. Up and over the top for that break. Dunn back to Nelson. Nelson one more time back to the well. Finds Petty on that break side space, who almost had Daniels. Oh, now wide open. To Helm, Helm to Doust. Sidewinders with another point, 5-2, Sidewinders advantage. Great cut by Doust, Eric, to try to find just the right pocket of space for Helm to hit her with a quick shot.
I love the patience that the Sidewinders exercise there. Mel Dunn got that D, and she was full steam ahead towards that end zone, but Ari and Shelby Petty decided to slow it down, and it resulted in a point.
Yeah, Dunn with the block. Nelson to Helm, and then Helm finds that straight angle into the end zone. Really have to appreciate those back-to-back throws by Nelson, where she broke the mark down by throwing it past her ear. And that's going to keep the defense guessing downfield if you think that throw is going to be coming.
And then Caitlin Doust with the fist spike on that disc. You can tell that she is pumped.
Sidewinders don't want to slip back into turnover-filled ultimate. Big turnover advantage for Seattle last night in that Sidewinders matchup. Back on offense now for San Francisco. Katie Swinnerton sends it to Anderson, to Chen. San Francisco in good position now, wide open in the end zone is Jacqueline Wynn. Nice cut by Wynn. Sheehy with a nice touch pass. Once San Francisco gets ahead of steam, they make good use of those away passes.
Jacob.
Sidewinders not able to slow that down. We'll see what kind of adjustment they make on defense, try to get another stop. But it's offense for now for the Sidewinders. We'll see if San Francisco can try to shrink this deficit. It's just 2 points with 1 minute to go.
Anybody's game at this point.
Final minute of the first quarter. Powell to receive. Powell to LP. Take a look at the Falcons now. They're going to at least momentarily flash in the middle of the lane and stop the Sidewinders offense from a quick start. McLaughlin, scanning downfield, is going to swing it. And she's got Dietrich with a booming cut underneath. Powell's got Steiner, but she's going to swing it to LP. Dietrich deep into space. Can she bring it in? Dietrich's got it, 2 hands strong. Arizona 6, San Francisco 3. What a play by Dietrich. We see her underneath charging to reset the clock for the stall count, and then that in cut turns into another deep cut. Let's take another look. Look at how high LP threw that. Dietrich squares up, 2 hands, never in doubt.
Aubrey Dietrich has been playing very consistent ultimate this whole weekend. It started right there with that in cut, which was pretty contested with a defender right on her back heel, which turned into an open deep cut for the score in the end zone. Through all 3 games, she has been very consistent for these Arizona Sidewinders.
Yeah, and we'll pay attention again to the Sidewinders attacking that back shoulder space. LP's throw coming, or decaying towards the middle of the end zone. And we've seen Lippincott take a similar space as well in some of those highlight reels. Sidewinders good at hauling in those throws with the outside in angle. Nelson to pull, Sidewinders back on defense. Swinnerton. And to Anderson, to Harris. Nice upline cut. Power position for now. Clock getting thin. Nifty inside break. San Francisco looks to be in control now. Looks like there's a stoppage of play. No, there's not. Play will continue. Here's the end of the quarter. Outmaneuvered. Audrey Sheehy uncovered. You get the sense the Sidewinders were a little confused once the offense got towards the red zone.
There did appear to be a little bit of a miscommunication there.
Sometimes you get in a situation where you're trying to protect that upline space so much, or there's one open cutter that two people end up taking the same person and they leave another person all alone. Take another look. Here's Chen. Setting up Sally Mims, who fakes to the open space and then just cuts back to the middle of the end zone. Cool and collected. Great way to end the quarter for the San Francisco Falcons. But Arizona's up by 2. We'll come back for the second quarter action right after this break.
The Western Ultimate League is sponsored by Breakmark Apparel. They make our players and our fans look great on or off the ultimate field. Shop the full line of Western Ultimate League team gear at breakmark.com. The Arizona Sidewinders would like to recognize our sponsors and partners: Bella Vista Vision Eye Center, the Phoenix Herpetological Sanctuary, Garn Mason Orthodontics, Raptor Canyon Cafe, and the Mount Lemon Cookie Cabin Pizzeria. Shop our new apparel collection at arizonasidewinders.com/shop to support women's sports and the Arizona Sidewinders. Pre-sale goes through March 18th and orders ship on March 28th. Get your support women's sports gear today at arizonasidewinders.com/shop.
Welcome back. Second quarter action. Arizona Sidewinders hosting the San Francisco Falcons here in Phoenix, Arizona. Perfect day to play Ultimate, Eric.
A wonderful day. This is the type of conditions that every Ultimate player dreams of. 66 degrees, humidity nice and low, typical Arizona, and just a very slight breeze.
Yeah, 4-mile-an-hour wind. You might find stiffer winds in an IKEA. Eric, you made a great point about Sheehy for San Francisco at the end of that last point and how much work she put in downfield.
Yeah, she made several cuts, hard deep, hard under, and then deep again. Finally, once the buzzer sounded, her thrower found her just kind of standing flat-footed, unopposed, right in the end zone for the easy score.
All that work to be uncontested in the end zone. Terrific play. Sidewinders on defense. 6-4 their advantage. Patricia Anderson with the possession, sending it downfield to Sam Applegate. There's going to be a stoppage of play with a foul called.
Both teams working that side stack pretty heavy this game, Michael. San Francisco this time, again, on the home side, slowly bringing those cutters out into open space and doing the best to create those one-on-one matchups.
Yeah, the side stack might be in their favor here, just trying to get the Sidewinders out of that zone look. Foul call is going to be retracted. It's going to be retracted. We've got Eifert on the mark for the Sidewinders. Slicing inside throw. Breaking the mark here. The disc is sent wide and fading towards the center of the end zone. And it's caught. Sally Mims, what a play. Swinnerton sending it high and slicing toward the middle. Mims reading it perfectly. Let's take a look.
Ari Nelson coming in, gaining a lot of ground on that throw, but just a little bit too little, too late to get there and make that defensive play.
Yeah, Mims did a really nice job of sealing that space so that when she did go up, nobody else who was even near the play had a chance of getting her hand on that disc.
Yeah, very nicely done.
What really broke that play open to me, Eric, was coming out inside stack, but then slicing across the field with that break side throw, or that IO look. And that really put the defense out of sorts. Hard to protect all the spaces all at once. And they found a deep one. Steiner now. As the Sidewinders are back on offense. LP to Doyle. It doesn't look like she was expecting it, but is happy to have it. She's going to launch it deep to Dietrich, who runs it down. Clap catch for Dietrich. What a cut.
What a beautiful run there. What a beautiful throw by Lindsay Doyle. She went from strictly a cutter to throwing dimes this weekend. She has been a fantastic handler, and her throws have been spot on all 3 days.
Yeah, Dietrich accelerating towards that cone, and Doyle doing a fine job of floating the disc right on top of it. Doyle able to do a lot of damage here if she's going to get open underneath like that and then be able to launch those bombs into the end zone. She's got 2 goals and an assist already. Sidewinders back on defense. Let's see if they can come up with an answer for the San Francisco offense, which has had a couple hot starts off the pull. Eric, I'm going to be paying attention to the marks here to try to see if the Sidewinders can corral that open side look and keep it just as open side looks and maybe keep them closer to the sideline. Back to their zone look. Chen. Swinnerton. Chen again. Mims. Back to Chen. Walking the disc up the field right now, so calm is San Francisco. Connie Chan. Back to Chen. Han Chen's heading to get wide to Swinnerton. San Francisco looking really in control here. How long are the Sidewinders going to stay in this zone? Back to the middle. Content to move it around right now. Chen just attacking that zone, running right up the middle. Swinnerton now trying to break the mark down, but a good mark to stop things. Chen able to flip it inside the end zone here, defeating the mark with that backhand IO throw.
When it comes to breaking a zone defense like that, Chen for the San Francisco Falcons did everything right. When she had the disc, she wasn't afraid to throw it through a little bit of traffic and make that cup pay up the middle of the field. And when she didn't have the disc, she was coming in and working that cup, crashing it as she should.
And Mims doing a great job of anticipating that crash coming through. And she just found an empty space.
Absolutely.
She knew she was covered one throw prior, but as soon as Chen crashed up through that cup, she was wide open. Great timing by Mims. Sidewinders back on offense. We've got Powell to LP. Now it looks like the Falcons are playing a little looser on the handlers, but it's Doyle underneath again, and she's got LP. LP's going to send it deep. She's got Bile, who's speeding towards the end zone. Bile skies, she's got it. Clean offensive sequence by the Sidewinders. They're ahead 8-6. Boy, what a textbook sequence there for the Sidewinders. And it started with Lindsay Doyle running right into the open space to LP and just launching to Bile, who didn't even have to jump that high. No drama. All the drama came prior when she accelerated into that space.
And Michael, you're very right. That throw was really set up by Lindsay Doyle, who came in, quickly got it back to LP, putting her in that power position and able to make that throw seamlessly to Meredith File.
Yeah, LP with 2 assists right now in the second quarter. Sidewinders back on defense, Eric, and it seems like they've been struggling to find a consistent way to slow down San Francisco. San Francisco yesterday at this point in the game might have started to try to force it into some skinny windows downfield. Let's see how they keep their composure here. Swinnerton looking downfield. She's got Harris wide open.
There it is.
Harris not able to find her receiver. That is a pretty skinny window, Eric. That's a tough throw. Nelson. Liz Murphy, sliding catch there. Dishes it back to Nelson. Nelson's got a lot of field in front of her. She's gonna send it deep. We've got Petty who's trying to stack her defender. She's got it. Well played by Petty, who stacks her defender and then is able to trot into the open space, taking advantage of her position there. Eric, if you're a receiver, you're gonna wanna watch that again. That's great use of Petty, who's not the tallest player on the field, but plays that out perfectly. Nelson launching it. And you see Petty just take a little stutter step for a minute. Her defender collides off of her for a moment, and that just gives her the space that she needs to make that catch.
Slowed that defender down just enough to give her the room that she needed. And Michael, I really like the line that they had set up there. It said, Arizona Sidewinders, we're getting this D, we're getting this break point. There was a tremendous amount of speed on the field and the ability to convert once they got that disc in their possession.
Yeah, Harris in a tough position on that sideline. You get the sense the stall count was getting a little higher, and she's on the wide side. Sidewinders crowding everywhere. Sidewinders back on defense. Looks like Daniels with the pull. It's my mistake, that's Kaiser. Underneath. San Francisco searching for an open space here. Across the field is Chen, who's so fast. Now she's going to turn into a hammer, but a little too ambitious. A little more float. That would have been a spark. But that's a hard throw to execute on the run. Kaiser picking up for the Sidewinders. This is a big chance for them. 7.5 left in the second. They're up by 3. Daniels to Lippincott. Lippincott scanning downfield. Bile cutting deep aggressively. She's not quite accessible. Sending it back towards the middle. Helm able to grab it. Daniels working the mark. Back to Helm. Sidewinders moving well here. Daniels is going to launch it. She knows who she wants to find. It's Lippincott. She can't quite get her hands on it. What a chance there. Eric, I was surprised to see that throw just drop right on top of Cody Lippincott.
That's an unfortunate drop there. You probably won't see that from Cody Lippincott the remainder of the game. That doesn't happen too often.
The throw was completely unexpected as well, but got to the right space. Stretching deep now for the Falcons. Number 23, Sally Mims. We've said her name a lot in this first half. High blade throw, what a grab! San Francisco scores. Number 42, Jacqueline Wynn with an athletic dive. Great counterattack off the turnover by the San Francisco Falcons.
And you know the San Francisco Falcons are breathing a sigh of relief there. Their O-point, there was definitely an opportunity for the Sidewinders to put another break point on the board, but San Francisco comes away with it.
Yeah, Mims able to do a good job in her positioning deep against Kalsa of the Sidewinders. Then is able to flip that pass into the middle of the end zone for Wynn.
And Jacqueline Wynn, that's her second point of the game now too, really stepping up. putting some scores on the board for the San Francisco Falcons.
Boy, that play on the near side of the end zone for the Sidewinders was so close. We thought it was going to be history repeating itself again with that high-flying catch attempt by Lippincott. I don't think they'll abandon that strategy. Falcons are offsides, Eric, and in the Western Ultimate League, the penalties for being offsides are severe.
Yes, the Arizona Sidewinders are going to be tapping this one in at midfield, giving them great advantage right from the start.
LP in good field position. Vertical stack for the Sidewinders. Stacking deep downfield. Pretty much announcing their intention to test the Falcons underneath. McLaughlin offering. High inside. Great break. McLaughlin launching it across right away. She's trying to find Dietrich. McGee trying to defend. It's a block. That'll be a turnover. That backhand inside to the break side was a nifty throw, freed up McLaughlin. But it's now San Francisco Falcons on offense. They're moving well already at the half field. Ali Suji sending it back to McGee. Montana Roberts took a quick look at the end zone there before deciding she's going to dump it back off. And now it's the Sidewinders defense that's looking a little bit more stubborn, forcing some of these throws that look a little risky for the Falcons. McGee with a great snag there to keep the play alive. But notice the Sidewinders are playing, they're not playing tight on person for some of these handlers. We got LP in the lane now trying to clog their first look, forcing them to make a lot of throws today. Oh, inside shot, we're back to the middle, McGee. And it's gonna be sent deep to Suji. Doyle trying to defend it, Doyle's got the block. Ali Suji made a terrific cut, but that throw came up a little short.
Arizona Sidewinders doing a great job defending downfield.
LP deep to Doyle, who just got the block. Against Suji, she can't quite bring it in. Ali Suji and Lindsay Doyle running the full field, and then turning around and running it all over again. Doyle to come off, replaced by Lippincott, number 5. Let's take a look at that again. Eric, what do you see?
There was very minimal contact there. It looked like a cleat may have got Lindsay Doyle there towards the end of the play. Nothing that she can't shake off and be back in a point or two.
Looked like she made the calculation that she might be able to go up and get it, and the disc hung up there maybe longer than she had calculated.
Yeah, it carried a little bit.
Terrific matchup there between those two players on defense and offense. San Francisco back on the attack. Izzy Clater trying to find McGee, but Reich's defense is really good right now. That's a high stall count situation. San Francisco's losing yards for now. Can they crack it open? Number 27, Connie Chan, with a good in cut there, and she's got an inside break. Suji now in good position to make something happen. Looking downfield now for Amanda Maru. Sent deep now into space, and it's over Dietrich. Some contact on that play, and the disc is dropped.
Michael, I don't think she maintained possession all the way through the end of that play.
What a great attempt by Connie Chan.
Let's take a look at this one.
The disc was down.
Dietrich trying to make it happen.
I don't see a lot of contact either.
Yeah, Chan wasn't able to maintain possession of the ground, as you said. That's going to be a turnover if there's no foul.
It's up to you.
Well, they're going to listen in on the field.
I don't know what the scenario is. If I was trying to avoid contact. Okay, that is a foul. Thank you. So I am calling a foul. Yes, sir.
Okay, foul has been called. Is there a contest? Okay, are we sending it back? Or does somebody want a ruling?
Players have the option for a ruling.
All right, my ruling is it is a foul.
Thank you.
Okay, so, right.
Observer's going to call a foul here.
It's going to be checked in at the goal line, right? You didn't survive the ground contact, so it's not a strip, it's not a goal. It's going to be your disc going back to the goal line.
If Chan had held on to that, it would have been a goal.
I caught it.
Correct.
I understand. You have to survive the ground contact, though.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so the foul affected your ability to do that. It's your possession. You're going to check it back in and walk, okay?
Okay. Hey, I'm checking it back.
Yeah, the observer,
All right,
Paul Otto,
disc is
doing a
live.
good job of taking us through the contact rules. She's going to get a shot at the end zone. It's a diving grab. It can't quite happen here for San Francisco. There's going to be a timeout called. Arizona Sidewinders. They want to take advantage of this opportunity, Eric. It looked like that was definitely going to be a goal off the turnover. Uncharacteristic drop here. Chan looking to find her teammate. Suji maybe accelerated too fast to that space, a little too narrow. But that throw, I bet Suji wishes it was a little bit higher. Athletic play, couldn't bring it in.
I think there was a lot of adrenaline still there from the almost collision and or deep cut. That release was very quick. Maybe a second or two, a deep breath, and swinging it back to a handler would have played into San Francisco's advantage there.
Yeah, and the observer stepping in to make that call, ruling that it was a foul. The case here is that Dietrich created more contact, or an excessive amount of contact. And we see that she might not really have had a play on the disc unless she created that contact. And that's what set Chan to the ground. We'll see what the Sidewinders have in store out of this timeout. Nelson on the field now to pick it up. Looks like the Falcons are coming out matched up person to person.
Nelson doing a little dance into the music, staying loose before the start of this point.
We've got Suji up over the top on Thomas, trying to protect against a deep shot right off the bat. But we've got a deep shot right off the bat. It's Nelson to Eifert. Eifert closing on it. It's going to be a committee meeting. It's tipped and it's blocked. It's going to be a turnover. So many people converging on that one. McGee swinging the disc for the Falcons. Suji so fast underneath. Disc is up, it's launched. It's gonna get caught. Rolling catch by Chan. And it looks like there's gonna be a stoppage of play. There's a timeout called by San Francisco, who doesn't want to waste this opportunity with just a minute 38 and a half. They have a chance to shrink this deficit to 1. Eric, you get the sense that the Sidewinders coming out of the timeout wanted a little bit more air under that throw. Maybe let Eifert run onto it rather than stand there for a few seconds and wait for the defenders to catch up.
Absolutely. As that throw went up, it continued to gain elevation higher and higher.
Here's the play on the San Francisco side. What a terrific catch. Rolling on the ground for Connie Chan, who hit the deck just moments ago on that contested play with Dietrich. Chan putting in work on this point.
And Michael, to finish the thought on that throw from Ari Nelson, yes, I think even Helen Eifert started to backtrack a little bit on the field to come back and try to get herself into position to make that catch.
Yeah, I think certainly you're right. That's an underthrown pass. Although at this stage it might be difficult to launch it that deep. Even in low wind conditions, that's a deep shot. Let's see what the Sidewinders do to try to salvage this point and slow San Francisco down. San Francisco really sharp in the end zone early in the game, but they've had some turnovers of late. Eifert on Chen. Chen has been good using that IO to break, access the middle of the field. Let's see if Eifert can slow her down. Chen, oh, it's that IO throw again. It's back to the middle. San Francisco in good position now, and they've got the score. Catching it is Sally Mims. Eliza Chan taking her time, finding her teammate, That was a great sequence by San Francisco to close out that point. 1:30 to go. Let's take another look, Eric.
There's that great, very precise IO throw, which opens up an easy little flick into the end zone.
Yeah, it looked like Eifert was trying to take away the dump, but it looks like the downfield defense wasn't quite in position. And take a look at these stats from Mims. 3 goals, 2 assists.
She's having a great game.
We've only played half a game. A minute to go, and the Sidewinders are back on offense. They've got a 1-point advantage so far. Sidewinders are kind of a run-and-gun team at times. You got to think they're going to play a little conservatively to make sure they walk away from this half with another point. Steiner looking downfield. She's got Doyle, who's been a dynamo this half. Great upline offer, but there's Lippincott underneath who manages to save it from hitting the turf. Steiner's got some options downfield. Doyle sees Bile, but decides to dump it off. Steiner searching. She's going to send it deep to McLaughlin. It's blocked. Terrific defense by Eliza Chang. That's the kind of play we expect to see McLaughlin close the door on, but Chang too fast getting to the space. That's a disappointing result for the Sidewinders. 54 seconds to go in the half. Let's see if they can get a quick turnover. Left to right motion now. Oh, and it's a terrific play. LP leaning into that play for the block. She might have just saved this point, but a hammer goes up. Can anyone grab it?
Dakota.
It's Lippincott, of course. She's got options downfield. She's going to send it high and sailing to Bile, who goes up 2-hand strong. What a transition. Lippincott to Bile. Sidewinders take a 2-point advantage, 10-8, 30 seconds to go in the second half. Eric, what happened with that hammer throw?
That hammer went up, and you could see Cody Lippincott changed her trajectory immediately. She stopped on a dime, turned, started moving a different direction, ended up right where that hammer was going to be, and the Sidewinders were able to capitalize from it.
Let's take a look at some of these defensive stops. It's really the story of this point. Look at McLaughlin in great position, but Chang just comes right through the space and gets the stop. And then LP chasing down that strike cut and able to get her hand on it. She turns right around, and there goes that hammer. Sometimes chemistry means knowing what your teammates' throws look like even when they're not at their best and making the adjustment.
And silky smooth to number 30 Meredith Bile to bring that in for the score.
So much confidence in that throw in that sequence. Sidewinders got to be happy with the ending of that point. Sidewinders now clogging the lane, as we've seen them do so much this weekend. Trying to slow the pace of this, make sure this point ends without another San Francisco point. San Francisco players starting to scream at each other just a little bit and try to communicate. The clock has gotten high a couple times. Their pace, they're more comfortable moving a little faster. Losing some yards. We're at zeros now for the half. This will be the last possession. Sidewinders hoping to slow them down and get a stop. Keep their advantage to 2. San Francisco's shown that they're more than happy to walk the disc up the field. We're going to have a stoppage of play. Looks like there's a travel called on the field.
4, 3, 2, 1. Just in.
Chen maybe taking an extra step after the reception. Harris offering something wide, but we got something in the middle of the zone. Disc is sent. We're going to test this Cynthia Thomas deep, and she's got the block, who spikes it out of the air. That'll be the end of the first half, and what an exclamation point for the Arizona Sidewinders. San Francisco getting a little bit of motion in the middle of the zone, and then trying to stretch that deep, but Thomas recovers to the space and just bats it away.
Excellent closing speed there by Cynthia Thomas. The receiver for the San Francisco Falcons was wide open, but the handler tried to throw it to her instead of beyond her, which allowed C to close that gap very quickly and end this half.
Yeah, and Thomas able to run towards the receiver. No contact on that play. Sometimes that kind of situation can be tough. Let's send it down right now as we're at halftime to Lindsay Doyle, who's had a terrific half. She's going to be talking with Megan. Megan.
Welcome to halftime. We're down here with Arizona's number 22, Lindsay Doyle. Lindsay, you've played all 3 games this weekend. How are you feeling after a long weekend of Ultimate?
We're feeling surprisingly strong. This team's athleticism is off the charts. It's really humbling to play on a team that has this much depth, both in speed and in throws. So you're really going to see a lot of speed, even though it's day 3. We're not scared of it, and we're leaning into it.
Awesome. So this is a new league. We've been around for a couple years, but we're finally playing. One of the strengths, I think, Arizona has been able to lock down a home stadium, a home routine, weekend practices. How has that helped you coming into this weekend?
It's great. It feels like this is our house. I coach here, and we're really appreciative to Mountain View for letting us use the stadium. And being here the last couple of weekends for practice, it feels like it's our house. We have our hometown crowd. We could not appreciate more. And the team feels like they own the space, and you can really see in the trust. There's no hesitation. If you call for that disc, your teammate's going to rip it, and it's going to be good.
Looking forward to next season, I know that there's some exciting coaching coming in with the Sidewinders sponsoring a team here at Mountain View.
We are, yeah. So Mountain View will have a high school club ultimate team. I'm going to be in charge of that, facilitating it with a couple other Sidewinders, and one of our coaches is going to be helping us too. And so we're really looking to grow the youth outreach of our program and show what women can do, show that men and women play together really well in the mixed scene, and we're just so excited to be growing Ultimate in Arizona.
All right, well, best of luck to you in the second half. Thanks so much, Lindsay.
Thank you so much. We love you guys, and shout out to my daughter, Leah. I love you, baby.
All right, we'll be right back after this break.
That was a great half of frisbee by Doyle, who was underneath, who was deep, who was throwing. Her team's got a 2-point advantage. We're going to take you to a break at halftime.
We believe that women and non-binary athletes deserve to be seen and our abilities showcased for the world to see.
We believe in perpetuating Ultimate by establishing professional teams and developing future generations of players.
We believe players of all identities and backgrounds deserve an equal opportunity to be recognized and lauded for our achievements in our sport.
We believe in sustainably and responsibly creating equitable and accessible avenues for women and non-binary athletes to join and participate in our sport.
We believe that being transparent,
open,
and responsive to criticism is critical,
and that there should always be space
to fix our mistakes, grow,
and be better.
We are the Western Ultimate League.
All right, we are back at halftime. Your Arizona Sidewinders are leading the Falcons 10-8. It's been a tight first half. I'm here with Sally Mims from the Falcons. Second game in 2 days. How are we feeling so far?
I think we're feeling great, actually. We've had 2 day games during the heat, so that's definitely something to get used to. But we brought a great squad, a lot of fitness. It's feeling good.
Yeah, you guys are a really strong roster. We've seen a ton of really just stacked players. How does it feel to take a lot of different systems and create a new cohesive one?
Yeah, I think that was one of the goals in forming the team. A lot of Bay Area teams tend to sit in their own different areas and not cross-pollinate. There's pros in the fact that we're bringing a lot of Bay Area players together. There is definitely a little bit of getting on the same page, but we're just working on play-by-play and system on system to get that done.
Awesome. I heard from your coach y'all had to get up at 3:30 a.m. yesterday. How does it feel to play after a full night of sleep?
It feels awesome, and actually I have some family in Arizona, so I was personally out here a little early. They have a place in Scottsdale, so Arizona has a place in my heart. But the rest of the team definitely hit the sack hard last night, and was excited to get to sleep in this morning a little bit.
Awesome, and what are we looking forward to in the second half for your team?
I think we're just looking for clean offense, good defense. It's very obvious that they've still been able to take deep shots on us. There are actually some exceptional throws, so I give credit to them and good receivers, but just double down on that and see if we can get an occasional block. And obviously the offense has got to hold into your zone. So yeah, that's it, basics.
Awesome, well thank you so much. Anything you want to say to the fans back home in the Bay Area?
We saw incredible turnout at some of our watch parties yesterday. It meant a lot to us, and we can't wait to see you also at home next weekend.
All right, well, thank you so much, Sally. Have a great rest of your game. All right, we'll head back up to the booth and for the rest of our halftime show.
Thanks, Megan.
WUL is giving women and non-binary folks space. And I think, like watching the power behind the WNBA last year, the political changes they were able to make happen, what the women's soccer team has been able to do. I love that pro sports are encouraging female matching players to take space. We're worth watching. We can compete at a high level. We push each other.
Personally, I grow a lot from learning from other people, learning different play styles, and this Cascades was a really awesome opportunity to play with a whole range of different people and skill sets.
Oh, this is so amazing. I get to play at this high level with all these other amazing women and non-binary folk, and I'm just so excited to be in that space.
I'm just so excited to see what pro ultimate for women can look like 5 years from now.
Joining you again in this break between halves, Arizona up 10-8 against the visiting San Francisco Falcons. Let's take a look at some of the stats, Eric. See if we can't break down the story behind this narrow advantage for the Sidewinders. Turnovers look about even to my eye, and it looks like the Sidewinders have been just a little bit more effective on offense. That can sometimes put a defense on their heels.
Yeah, very close stats here, which really is represented on the scoreboard. We still have a very close game here. Sidewinders with a very small advantage on the number of breaks that they've been able to achieve, but mostly both teams have been playing a very good game.
Yeah, we talked about defense leading into this game to see if the Sidewinders could crowd those throwing lanes, and they haven't been able to do it all the time, but they've been able to do it just enough times to gain this 2-point lead. Take a look at some of our stats leaders for the game. What I actually meant was let's take a look at some of our standings leaders for the rest of the season. The Tempest holding a 1-0 top of the standings position after an impressive performance yesterday. The Sidewinders and the Wild are tied up in second place. Point differential matters here, as does head-to-head. Every point matters in this season with just 6 games. Sidewinders want to win, but they also want to win by as many points as possible. Eric, to your mind, what's been some of the pleasant surprises out of the teams that we've seen this weekend?
From the games that I've watched, Michael, I think that the Seattle Tempest really came in here with a little bit of swagger, looking to set the tone for this league. And they put their best foot forward on the field. They look like they're going to be a very difficult squad to beat in the league this season.
Yeah, they did a terrific job of controlling the field and then launching it deep when the time was right. Sidewinders having some difficulty there. To my mind, the Sidewinders look like a very entertaining team. They're relying on some ambitious shots downfield that are cashed in more often than not. A high-flying team we've got here in Arizona. Second half to begin imminently. We'll see if the Falcons can haul themselves back from this narrow deficit. You just get the sense that a few executions in the end zone and this Falcons team is going to be in a completely different position. Very tight game right now. And you can certainly see from some of the plays they've made on the field, they have all the tools they need to make a comeback. Let's see if the Sidewinders can maintain control and maintain that energy that's been their friend in the first half. Disc is pulled. Sidewinders to begin on offense. Eifert, Lippincott, Reich to Nelson. Nelson and Reich working together. We're going to start with a zone, slicing across the field. San Francisco, just the kind of throw they want to see. Sidewinders going to have to play defense here. McGee centered back. Montana Roberts. It's blocked by Nelson, who sniffed out that lane. McLaughlin in transition. Eifert there to help her out. Eifert's got Nelson. Nelson's got LP wide. But she's looking to break it to Lippincott, who skies to grab it on the end zone line. She's going to flip it. Diving attempt by Montana Roberts, but it's cashed in by Doyle. Goal for the Sidewinders. Great recovery off that turnover, Eric.
Fantastic placement there, too, by number 5, Dakota Lippincott. She put it just outside of that defender's reach and was able to make it an easy catch for number 22, Lindsay Doyle.
Yeah, we'll get another look at that one, I think, but the diving catch by the defender was just such a good play. Got into that space, went horizontal. There's Montana Roberts, almost there. But as you said, Lippincott's touch pass, impressive. That's the second time we've seen Lippincott make a big catch close to the end zone and then send a really pinpoint accurate touch pass out to that side of the end zone to a teammate, finish the score.
Yeah, and as we saw on the stat line just there, that's 3 goals now for Lindsay Doyle. She's having a great game.
Sidewinders back on defense. They're back in the lanes momentarily. Let's see if they tighten up to person. It looks like a person-on-person matchup for now. They're going to move away from the zone. Chan up the middle. Douse locking down on Swinnerton. Disc goes high and it's long. Chen can't get it. Dunn already stretching the field. Petty to pick up. Working with Powell in the backfield. Terrific mark by Chen. Douse diving to save that play high in the stall count. Douse is going to send it back to Powell. Powell launches it. And it's long. Thomas can't get it. And Liz Murphy not quite in sync on that throw. It's a hard throw to read right there.
Tough placement right between 2 Sidewinders.
Powell on the defense. Douse. She was right there. It almost looked like the disc hit the deck. Going deep, and Thomas with another interception. She has a great sense of the deep space. It looks like the disc will be going back. Stoppage of play. We'll see what the call is. Swinnerton thinks she got the throw off in time. Douse thinks it was a stall count. We'll go to the observer.
So a contested stall, didn't have to throw. The turn will stay at the point of the turnover.
Result of the contested stall gives the disc back to the Sidewinders.
So it's a contested stall, which means the turnover won't be at the point where the stall was called. But there's a continuation rule. Thomas's defense will stand. Thomas looking to Powell. Dunn squaring off against Chen. Such great defense by San Francisco there to stymie the dump set. Chen in control here, flipping it open side. And she's got Connie Chan, who brings it in to counterpunch for the San Francisco Falcons. Arizona 11, San Francisco 9. Arizona had their chances on that point, Eric.
Yeah, and just as the Sidewinders did to San Francisco a moment ago, San Francisco did the exact same thing here, where that disc was excellently placed outside. Even though Shelby Petty was in great position to make a D on that, it was just a little bit out of her reach.
Yeah, that's defense turning into good offense. Stifling defense on the handler set, and it looked like there weren't a lot of options upfield. That's back-to-back points now where the Sidewinders have tried something deep and it's been unsuccessful, and then trying to move it in the backfield and been unsuccessful. It looks like something San Francisco is doing on the offensive line is doing something to interfere with the offense of the Arizona Sidewinders. Nelson picking up here. Arizona on offense. We're going to have another offsides. Favorable field position for the Sidewinders. Nelson to check it in. Deep stacking here. Sidewinders got an isolation in the middle of the field, but it's 2-on-1 with the Falcons trying to slow it down. McLaughlin looking for space. She's still open. Nelson finds her. McLaughlin to Reich. Reich flipping it to Nelson. Sidewinders moving left to right for now. Back to the middle of the field. Sidewinders moving well right now. Alex Daniels. No, Meredith Bile. Meredith Bile, give and go. Bile's got the score. Nifty move by Bile there. Pitch and catch and then releasing into the end zone. Using her speed to make that throw easier than it had to be.
Yeah, Jade McLaughlin and Meredith Bile just having a little fun over there on the home side of the field. Back and forth to each other, and very successfully.
Yeah, San Francisco bet a lot on stopping that first cut out of the side stack by drawing another person into the lane. And McLaughlin managed to find an open space anyways. Sidewinders have to feel good about this one. Offense looked considerably more efficient than last time, finding ways around that San Francisco defense, which, when they're matched up, does a really good job of keeping the Sidewinders from getting those quick passes that tend to set up those deep shots that they like so much. Sidewinders to pull. This is done. Deep pull past the 30-yard line. San Francisco looking to answer. Sidewinders look like they're matched up. Not to person anymore. They're sagging in the lanes again. Showing something different almost every point, it looks like. We've seen this zone before. Really going to dare them to make a lot of throws today. It's a great find, Swinnerton now. Easy pitch and catch. Able to get the disc off the sideline now. Harris, all alone, but she's got nobody to throw to. An open dump. Offense moving so well for San Francisco for a moment. They look to be slowing. Arizona's still in that zone. That throw count's going to get high. Arizona banking on a simple error. Maybe a hasty throw. Losing yards now, San Francisco very patient. Daniels on Harris. What a play! Diving into there is done. The trap was set and then sprung.
And I believe that was Megan Maxfield.
No, Megan Maxfield, my mistake. I saw number 2. Megan Maxfield all the way across, body completely horizontal. What a defensive stop. Daniels to Kaiser. Sidewinders want to maximize their opportunity here. What an amazing stop.
And I imagine we'll be watching that layout D another time or two.
Fans at the game will be watching that layout D plenty of times. Get a couple different looks at this. Get the sense that Maxfield knew exactly where they wanted to throw it. Made the play right into space. Look at how far away she is when she makes the decision to go for that disc. A great execution from that position in the zone. Sidewinders showing them an open lane. Maxfield knowing Harris had only one place to go. Getting the stop. What a play. Sidewinders in this situation have tried to generate a quick away pass several times. It's not really worked for them. Let's see if they try something different. Maybe try to attack the end zone from the midfield with an away pass rather than try to get it all at once. Let's pay attention to the action downfield and see if anybody can get open for the Sidewinders. Sidewinders probably not very happy to have to go back to the dump set too many times against this dump defense by the Falcons. Can they get an opportunity? Doyle across the field. Great mark by the Falcons. They want it all at once. It's going to be deep. It's going to McLaughlin. She's closing on it. McLaughlin's got it. What a gain. LP finding McLaughlin. McLaughlin's got Reich. What a play out of timeout. Arizona stretches their advantage to 4. LP so accurate. And McLaughlin, who showed a little bit of aggression in the interior space, takes off to stretch the field and is there for her teammate. Let's take another look. That's Nelson's throw, actually. What a dime by Nelson. McLaughlin knows that Reich's coming for her. Able to fake a couple times and break down that mark. The throw's there when she wants it.
It's great to see that the Arizona Sidewinders have been able to continue with the deep looks, even though we know that San Francisco is looking to limit those from the Sidewinders.
Yeah, and Nelson, no doubt in her mind. Stall count got past 5, it looked like, and she saw McLaughlin taking off. Sidewinders. We'll see if they return to their zone, or if they're going to go to a different matchup. Slicing up the middle for the Falcons, and they've got a deep look. They're going to go to Chen. Eifert to cover. It's a toss-up, and Eifert's got the block.
Defended by Helen Eifert.
Boy, that was not a bad look they generated out of that coverage from the Sidewinders. But Eifert just too quick and too athletic.
Helen Eifert did a great job of getting herself into the correct position there and then maintained it at foot by foot all the way down the field.
Chen still had a great chance there. Truly a 50-50. Thomas with the disc back to Powell. Sidewinders haven't always been strong in this situation on defense coming back from their own goal line. We'll see how they respond. Petty moving quickly. They're off and running. Powell's got it. She sees Doust. High floating throw. Doust can grab it. It's too easy. Doust charges into the end zone there, uncontested. Teammates cutting for each other well in transition into open space, keeping the San Francisco defense on their heels. We've got Powell, who sent it to a perfect spot. Swinnerton pulled up a little bit once she saw what was happening there, but Doust did a good job initially of getting on the right side of Swinnerton.
Momentum has swung heavily in the Arizona Sidewinders' favor here. And we're seeing now Caitlin Doust, 2 goals for this game. She's really stepping up in a big way. I saw the momentum with that deep cut from Jade McLaughlin just a moment ago. You could tell that there's a different feel, a different vibe going into this next point, and it carried Caitlin Doust towards that end zone as well.
Yeah, Sidewinders doing a really good job of escaping the pressure on their own end zone line. And once they found Powell, they were off and running. Let's take a look at the FalconsUltimate.com jersey store and merchandise. We got some terrific products there. You want to support women's professional ultimate in the Bay Area, go to the merch store. If you're at home and you can't buy a ticket, buy a jersey. It's a great decision and you'll look good doing it. Falcons not out of this by any stretch. I'm reminded of the Winter Cup matchup between the Sidewinders and the Falcons months ago. Hotly contested game. The Falcons were able to pull away late. Let's see what the Falcons have in store for the Sidewinders, who are going to be running downhill, I've got to think, on this defensive point. Sidewinders to pull here. Will it be 3 in a row for their zone coverage? Powell. Pull past the 30-yard line to the 20. It's a great spot if the defense can get there. They're coming down together. They look to be matched up person to person now, showing the Falcons a different look. Trying to recover here for Helm. Middle of the field, Mims. So much control conferred by Mims with their cutting and decision making. Chen Sending it deep. It's going to be defended by Dunn. Looking for Eliza Chang there, but Dunn was able to get into the play and break it up. And here we are again, Sidewinders on their own end zone line. Can they escape this early pressure by the Falcons? They cannot. Eifert now squaring off against Chen once again. Chen sending a booming backhand into the end zone. Has she got someone? It's not quite there. Number 42, Jacqueline Nguyen, who had that great leaping snag in the first half. Couldn't quite bring that one in for the score. Sidewinders on offense again. This is Helm picking up. High pass, and it's brought in. A little bit of contact on the play. Terrific grab by Liz Murphy. Dunn working with Daniels. Looks like it was possessed out of bounds. It's going to be a turnover. McGee looking for a person downfield. Nguyen now launching it deep to Chen. Chen can't quite get there. Eric, I think you can see some fatigue starting to catch up to the Falcons here.
You're correct. I was just about to say the same thing. The shots they haven't been as accurate, and the turnovers are starting to become a little bit more frequently.
I feel like in the first quarter, that's a point. Bile coming underneath. To Daniels, who's been playing great. Dunn, wide open field in front of her. She's got no one going deep for her. San Francisco really committing to cover that deep space on that transition into this half of the field. Helm scanning, she's got Dunn. We've got a wide open Liz Murphy in the end zone for a little while. That's going to peel the defense back. What a terrific layout defense by McGee. Helm on that strike cut, McGee right there. Disc is going to be sent to the opposite side of the field. Bozzini, and they're off and running deep. Sidewinders forcing that skinny angle, and it's going to be turned over. Important point for the Sidewinders here. We've got a minute left in the third. Dunn stretching. It's going to be a turnover. Play breaking down a little bit. Both sides look to be a little bit fatigued. Nguyen pitching. Now to Chen. No one in the end zone right now. We've got a lot of Sidewinders in the late half of the field. Nguyen's got it. Chang to Chen. Back to Eliza Chang. Doesn't have a lot of options, but also doesn't have a mark. Eifert returning, and it's high. We're going to test the legs of the Sidewinders, and it's grabbed by McGee. What a play by McGee. Number 18, Michelle McGee, leaping in traffic to finish that point off strong. 28 seconds to go in the quarter. Arizona's got a 4-point lead. So many turnovers on that point, Eric. Some from good defense and some from heavy legs.
Yeah, you talked a little bit about fatigue setting in, and I mean, we saw it in a lot of players, but not Michelle McGee. McGee coming up with that big layout to get the possession back into the Falcons' hands, and then also converting finally to put that point on the board. Yeah, and there's that layout.
What a great defense by McGee. And that's going to be bookends for her. Leaping in traffic right now. Source for the point.
Big point for the Falcons.
Yeah, they needed that to stay in this game. And if you're the Falcons right now, you have got to stop the Sidewinders from scoring to close out this quarter. Sidewinders trotting up the field to Lippincott in the middle. Steiner. Steiner, who's got Dietrich testing deep. The defense holds. Steiner's going to launch it. Dietrich squaring off against Roberts. Dietrich goes up two hands, can't make it happen. Roberts, terrific coverage on that play. This is crucial for San Francisco. They pick up the disc and the clock expires, they have a chance to narrow this deficit. They don't want to walk away from here. Discus sent up! High and sailing out of bounds. A disappointing conclusion to this half from San Francisco. Arizona's going to maintain their 4-point lead. Boy, that's a point left on the table, Eric. 33, Amanda Moreau, trying to make something happen. Couldn't quite get it there. Take another look. Yeah, Moreau just had no chance of that.
There's a little car that's like right there, and then his truck.
It'll be interesting to see how the fourth quarter develops. That third quarter, I think we started to see both teams show a little bit of signs of fatigue. We'll see how it all develops after the break. Arizona 14-10.
The Western Ultimate League is sponsored by Breakmark Apparel. They make our players and our fans look great on or off the Ultimate Field. Shop the full line of Western Ultimate League team gear at breakmark.com. The Arizona Sidewinders would like to recognize our sponsors and partners: Bella Vista Vision Eye Center, the Phoenix Herpetological Sanctuary, Garn Mason Orthodontics, Raptor Canyon Cafe, and the Mount Lemon Cookie Cabin Pizzeria. Shop our new apparel collection at arizonasidewinders.com/shop to support women's sports and the Arizona Sidewinders. Pre-sale goes through March 18th and orders ship on March 28th. Get your support women's sports gear today at arizonasidewinders.com/shop.
Joining us after the break for the final quarter of action for the weekend, Arizona Sidewinders 14, visiting San Francisco Falcons 10. Very interesting quarter, that third. Both teams starting to show signs of fatigue. This is the third game for the Sidewinders this weekend. This will be a real test of their endurance. San Francisco, as we mentioned, also some sleepless nights to get here, and this is their second game. Pole being fielded by San Francisco now, Swinnerton. Swinnerton seeing her teammate go deep, tries for something a little safer, but it's saved. Charging underneath, number 52, Applegate, keeps the play alive. Here's Mims, who's been wonderful today. Sending it deep now. McLaughlin able to get in there and cut the pass off before San Francisco can really read it into the end zone. Discus sent down to the turf. Petty can't bring it in. Chen now in control. She sends it to the break side. Eric, you get the sense that was a great space to send the disc. A little too soon, or maybe didn't hang enough.
Just a little bit of a miscue there. And
Yeah.
if San Francisco is going to come back and potentially win this game, they need to clean those up.
They do need to clean those up. Terrific running, charging D by Shayla Harris, who outruns Maxfield to the space. Really important point here for San Francisco. Open this quarter with a point. Chen seems like she's played every point, even if she hasn't. It's going to be terrific defense by Powell that breaks that one up. Sally Mims couldn't get her hands on that. Powell arriving late to the space to block it away. Here's Powell. Forgive me, Petty. Petty with the disc, now to Powell. Working together with Lippincott. That's going to go upfield to Dunn. Dunn's going to find Thomas, who looks like she's all alone. And we've got Megan Maxfield accelerating the end zone. We're going to try it out. Maxfield, she's got it! It's a goal for the Sidewinders. They come out hot, 15-10. McLaughlin with a terrific throw there. Just enough air underneath it for a teammate to go get it. Here's defense coming into offense. Petty getting stuffed by Harris, but her teammates got her back. Kyle breaking that up.
Back. And as soon as the Sidewinders were able to break through that first layer of defense there, it was off to the races.
Yeah, Dunn to Thomas to McLaughlin. And then McLaughlin finds Megan Maxfield, who cradles that disc to make sure that it doesn't scrape the ground. There's never any doubt. She's got 2 goals today in a block.
And one hell of a block. That was that big layout D.
One remarkable play on the defensive end for Maxfield. What a spark for the Sidewinders. Daniels to pull. Fielding now. McGee. Sidewinders clogging the lane again. You can see some of their players fading in to take away some of the spaces. Chen toe dragging in. Squaring off against Daniels, it looks like. Wide swing pass to McGee. They might be able to break this one open. Corralled by Chang. Chang's able to find McGee with a great pass. McGee to Chen. Chen sending it wide to Win. Win's in a tough spot right now, but she breaks it open. Great inside throw for the score for San Francisco. Eliza Chang all over the place on that point, receiving it on the dump set and then diving into the end zone to get open for her teammate, Claudia Vasquez.
Very clean, good-looking point by the San Francisco Falcons on that one. If they want to pull out the win here today, they need to make the remainder of their possessions look like that all the way to the end of the fourth quarter. For the Sidewinders, to complete this victory today, they need to play to win. They need to not play not to lose, if that makes sense, Michael.
Sure does. It also makes sense as Chang's impact on this game. She's got a goal, 2 assists, and 2 blocks. Also got to appreciate the read that her teammate Claudia Vasquez made. Very patient, breaking down the mark, and when the time came, she was able to slip the disc in. What looked like an easy point. Here's Roberts for the pull. Good distance and hang time. LP with the disc, sending it to Nelson. Back to LP. A little bit of soft coverage to begin this point for San Francisco. Nelson can't quite grab it. Just enough to slow down the initial cuts to try to force like that one, a throw like that one. Vasquez working well, upline attacking. Suji on Reich. Suji trying to get the disc around. It's a dicey pass, but it's brought in. Vasquez doing a good job back there, keeping things steady. Montana Roberts now back to Chang. Chang trying to fake out McLaughlin. She's able to get it off the sideline. Montana Roberts wants a break side throw, and she's got it. She's got McGee on the break side. McGee tries it for the break side, and she's got number 11, Ali Suji. Terrific sequence on the break side for the San Francisco Falcons. They've got to be happy about the way they're testing the marks of the Arizona Sidewinders late in this game, Eric.
Yeah, and another clean point by the San Francisco Falcons. Looking good out there, keeping it crisp, and it paid off.
Yeah, those passes were crisp, and they came off the back of really great work by their handlers of just breaking down the mark. Look at that break side action, and now can't recover to McGee fast enough. That puts Marilyn Reich in a really tough situation of having to get to Ali Suji all the way in the corner of the end zone. That's a tough ask.
It's a tough spot to defend, that's for sure.
Sidewinders offense, this is a very important point for them. If they get broken here, this is going to be a showdown. Harris with the pull. Great distance and hang time there. San Francisco's going to get a chance to set their defense up nicely. Sidewinders moving quickly for a moment. San Francisco in place. Dunn able to find some daylight. She's got McLaughlin, who can't bring that one in. Just the opportunity San Francisco's been looking for here. Kate Swinnerton to pick up. Can they close the gap? Swinnerton inside. Underneath, rather. Swinnerton attacking upfield. It's a tough pass. We're going to lose some yards, but Harris is able to grab it. Nelson on the defense. Good job stopping that break throw. It's contested. It's blocked. It's going to be contact here. We'll see how it sorts out. Looked like Steiner and LP together on number 27, Connie Chan. Players are talking it out. Trying to sort out the contact. We may go to the observer here. We'll find out in moments. I think the discussion here is, when did the contact happen? Who was in the space first? Was there gratuitous contact generated by the play? Let's see.
Right, so.
Wow.
You have something more to add?
It looked like two Sidewinders were in front of that player long before there was even a chance to catch that frisbee.
You're correct. LP, she peeled off her.
So are you coming to the observer? Okay, coming to the observer. No foul, no dangerous play. It'll stay here. Coming in at 1. And disc is live. Players may move.
Yeah, Sidewinder's really closing the door on that one. LP running kind of at the same angle. That's fair play. Not going to cut anybody off on that one. Slicing and dicing McLaughlin to Steiner, who's got Lippincott, who can't grab that one. Leaping one-handed catch attempt. Not quite there for Lippincott. Sidewinders back on defense. Sidewinders trying to make things difficult. Harris is going to send it deep to Suji, who's covered by Dunn. Dunn comes away with a block, but Suji hits the deck.
Harris pass intended for Suji, blocked by Melissa Dunn.
Looks like there's no call on the play.
No call.
Great recovery there by Dunn, Eric. LP to Steiner. Steiner's got a lot of distance on her throws. She's going to show it off now. McLaughlin's going to try to beat Harris in a foot race, and she's got her on the end zone line now. Let's see if anyone can run to help her out. It's Dunn to the opposite side of the end zone. Dunn's got the snag. The Sidewinders got it. 16-12, Arizona. What a play by Dunn with bookends on that play.
Such an important hold by the Arizona Sidewinders offense as well.
How about that throw by McLaughlin? First grabbing this nice pass by Steiner. Hits the deck and then gets up. How about a touch pass to the opposite side?
Absolutely. Jade McLaughlin has been playing lights out all weekend long. It is so much fun watching her on the field.
Yeah, and Dunn's ability to get up into the air really shows through in those 4 blocks. Really a stalwart force on the defensive side for the Sidewinders and generating some much-needed offense on that point. Let's not forget that this was the same point where Dunn was able to find some daylight on an in-cut and start generating some momentum for the Sidewinders as well. Great point for Dunn. Sidewinders back on defense. Can San Francisco keep their composure? They're not out of this game. Down by 4, 5 minutes, 43 seconds to go. Not an insurmountable lead. Can they both keep their composure and score quickly? Swinnerton. To Anderson, who sends it back upfield. Anderson again, looking for Swinnerton. Big, wide, sweeping pass. Sam Applegate looking for help, and it's Swinnerton. Sidewinders clogging the lanes again, as they have all weekend. Trying to work the tired legs of the San Francisco team. Swinnerton running through that zone pretty effectively here. Miscue on the throw, but Harris is there to clean it up. Stretching deep momentarily. Great breaking of the mark there. Looks like it skipped off the turf.
Hit the turf.
This is why you run zone. This is why you run zone in the 4th quarter. Helm to Thomas sliding on the turf. Thomas sending it up in the air. She's looking for Liz Murphy. Liz Murphy can't quite grab it. Harris is there to snatch it out of the sky. Helm defending Harris. Daniels back on the dump defense. It's a high pass to the middle. San Francisco looked to break this one open. Can Arizona recover in time to slow them again, force them into an error? San Francisco looking composed so far. Sam Applegate back to the middle here. Mims.
Michael, cuts have kind of run a little bit stagnant. I wouldn't be surprised if you saw
a leaping try by Helm. Offense looking a little solidified like a cheese curd. San Francisco just doesn't have the time to play this kind of frisbee right now. Very conservative, but it's not putting any points on the board.
A lot of credit to the Sidewinders defense here.
Sidewinders have flexed from zone to person, and now it looks like they're back harassing the lanes in a person matchup, but every once in a while jumping off their matchup to drag into the lane. Showing a lot of versatility here, and they are just costing the Falcons minute after minute on this point. We only have 3 minutes left in the whole game. San Francisco's got to find a way to score, and quickly. Crowd really getting into it now. They sense the moment. Sidewinders have an opportunity to close this one out. A hasty throw. It looks sailing out of bounds. Petty there to finish the job. What a terrific team effort by the Sidewinders. And what a costly sequence for the Falcons. We are down to 2.5 minutes left in the quarter, and now the Sidewinders are picking up the disc. Kaiser sending it to Petty. Sidewinders got to be content to just hold on to the frisbee for a little while. Kaiser to Helm. San Francisco trying to harass the lane. Liz Murphy wide open there, but a timeout called beforehand. Great cut by Murphy. Coaching staff of the Sidewinders not taking any risks.
I think that's a great call by the coaching staff for that timeout. Everybody's looking a little bit fatigued on the field, as you mentioned earlier, Michael, and I think the coaches want to remind the 7 on the field, keep possession as long as you can. Don't give that disc back to San Francisco. The clock is definitely on their side.
Yeah, head coaches Schwartzer and Petty have got to be thinking that if they can get a point here, the game's going to be all but over. While we've got a minute, let's appreciate some of the fine work on the field by Megan Maxfield. Diving catch there on a crucial hold. Getting open into the deep spaces. Now our play of the game. Soaring defense. Charging from across the field, getting the block at a key moment, and that's your discraft play of the game. Eifert there. Couldn't be happier about that moment. Whole sideline getting up for that one, Eric. Sidewinders coming out of timeout. In an awkward space. Definitely not the red zone. Not a lot of space between them and the end zone. Ferocious defense on the handler set so far. Forcing the Sidewinders to throw it a lot. Nelson with a nifty layout there to keep it alive. Steiner looking for McLaughlin, who reads it well. She's got it closer to the end zone now. Let's see what she can come up with. Powell right there for her. She's just going to give it right back to Steiner. Steiner sees LP, but thinks better of it. She's going to send it across the end zone. It's going to be a diving grab by McLaughlin. McLaughlin again. McLaughlin send inside to Reich. Reich sees. She's got Dietrich. And that's the dagger. Dietrich charging into that space. That sequence was all Albuquerque, Eric.
Yeah, and I think you're right about that dagger there, Michael. That's the last point that the Arizona Sidewinders needed to put this one kind of in the old deep freeze. There's not enough time left on that clock to come back from a 5-point deficit right now if you're the San Francisco Falcons.
Yeah, let's just appreciate where Dietrich developed her cut from to be open at the right time. And look at McLaughlin, who it looks like has tape on her arms from all the sliding she's done on the turf. Been so effective today. San Francisco's going to come out of this weekend, Eric, 0-2. And they're going to have a lot of things to be proud of. But they're going to have some things that, no doubt, they're going to have a project or two to work on between their next slate of games. What do you think they're going to be looking to do?
Well, you're right that they have a lot of things to be proud of. They played a very close game against the Utah Wild. And I think they need to, watch the tapes here, look at a few things specifically that they can clean up. But the coaching staff, I hear they have a phenomenal coach. We'll be able to point out those things and get them moving in the right direction. So hopefully they can, grab a couple of wins this league.
Yeah, both the Wild and the Sidewinders were able to force just enough throws to those skinny angles towards the middle. Those ended up being the difference in both matches. San Francisco, though, wanting to go out on a high note. Swinnerton working the middle of the field.
And early in the game, Michael, too, the first couple zones that San Francisco broke, they were textbook ways to break the zone. They looked very clean.
Hammer now defended well. Done. Another block. We got 25 seconds to go. And finishing up your thought there, they attacked the zone so effectively, I thought Arizona might think about abandoning the zone. And while they went to person for a little while, right back to the zone, and it paid off. Kaiser to Maxfield with the play of the game. Sim Kalsa to Petty. Maxfield, Daniels, off and running for the Sidewinders. Inside space, it's a score! And how fitting, Megan Maxfield able to walk away from this one with another point. 2 seconds to go. The stadium here in the East Valley is rocking. Nelson sensing it too.
And with 2 seconds left on the scoreboard there, that point is not inconsequential because point differential does matter quite a bit in the Western Ultimate League.
Yeah, the Falcons want to get a score out of here. This isn't just an opportunity that you just give up on. Maxfield, 3 goals and a block. That last sequence, remember, she caught an in-cut, then pitched it to the handler, then ran into the end zone to beat her person. Powerhouse on offense today. An explosive play on defense again for number 12 Megan Maxfield for the Arizona Sidewinders. Nelson, final pull of the game. This will be it. We're going to be at zeros imminently, and here we are. This will be the last possession. Tap to the ground by Nelson. She's going to kick spike it. That's an exclamation point on a explosive inaugural weekend for the Arizona Sidewinders and for the Western Ultimate League. That'll do it. Arizona 18, San Francisco Falcons 12. Closely fought for a little while there, Eric, and then Arizona able to stretch an advantage on the back of some really impressive defense, turning into some really interesting plays on offense.
Yeah, and you see the excitement there from Ari Nelson at the end of the game, too. The scoreboard, the stat sheet for this game, she did clock 1 assist, so not a lot on the goals, not a lot on the assists, but she really is.
diving catch. Gonna have another look at some San Francisco plays. Not a bad thing to look at that Roberts play one more time.
Megan Maxfield, 3 goals on the day. Playing great.
Yeah, fantastic snag there by Murphy. And then Wynn with a terrific catch there in the first half. McLaughlin hitting the deck over and over today. And there's that block. There's your Discraft play of the game. Megan Maxfield launching into space. Here we are with the dagger, sending it home to Megan Maxfield. 18-12. Thanks for joining us on this inaugural broadcast. We'll see you in the next one. Signing off for Eric Bay, it's Michael Simeone. Good afternoon.